Hey guys, Rick Cordero from RunPlayBack. So today I'll be doing a quick breakdown of how I made my first Machinima short film by using Grand Theft Auto V for the PC and the Rockstar editor. Since I spent the majority of my career making short films and music videos, I thought making a Machinima film would be a piece of cake, but that definitely wasn't the case. While my filmmaking instincts were helpful, making movies in the computer still requires a high level of commitment, tech savvy, and experimentation to achieve results that stand out from anything that feels too video gamey. First off, Machinima is defined as the use of real-time computer graphics engines to create a cinematic production or animated film. When I stumbled across Matt MacDonald and Jacob 88's GTA V short films, I was immediately hooked. Sure, there's plenty of limitations with making a film within a video game engine, but the benefits were much more obvious. Outside of purchasing GTA V on Steam for about $60, there are really no hard costs that have to be spent other than my own time, which is still a valuable resource, but if I'm constantly learning and engaging with new techniques and mods, then it's totally worth it. Without a doubt, if you plan on creating a Machinima film, it's absolutely essential that you download a few mods. Mods allow you to basically cheat within the story mode of GTA V. By cheating, you can spawn characters, props, and vehicles. You can control the time, weather, and a ton of other little details that can make your world unique. There's plenty of tutorials online on how to use these mods, but the most important ones are Menu, Scene Director, and Reshade. Story is everything, but to be honest, when I first started this project, I jumped right into production without a script or shot list. It's important that your script can communicate your story through visuals and actions, as opposed to lots of dialogue and exposition through narration. Of course, there are plenty of films where narration is rock solid, but as a general rule, cinema, and Machinima especially, are visual mediums. Showing, rather than telling, is almost always stronger and forces you to think more creatively. With a world as vast as GTA V, location scouting is really key. If you're like me and skipped almost all the missions, taking some time to travel around the map will give you a good sense of geography. Plus, some of the hidden locations are not as exposed as the downtown area. With your mods, you'll be able to teleport to any location you wish, but it's the places between the locations that are usually perfect for setting up cinematic scenes. For example, I spawned some of these sweet custom zombie maps using a mod to give a more authentic feel to the post-apocalyptic setting I wanted to create. For a deeper filmic look, I used the Reshader mod and bumped up my resolution to 4K with export settings at high and 60 frames per second using the lossless H.264 preset with the extended video export mod. Be warned, you'll need a pretty powerful computer to achieve this look. I'm currently running a 1070 GTX and I can definitely hear the fan blowing when I'm doing exports. For my first Machinima, I didn't spend too much time creating a custom character and instead used some primary characters within the GTA V storyline. Once I chose my characters, the Scene Director mod became my go-to for blocking the actors. Blocking actors in Machinima is obviously much harder than real life since you're sort of limited to a set of predetermined animations. But by introducing some random variables, you'll be able to create some happy accidents. For example, by spawning a random meteor shower in my chase scene, it gave it an extra layer of stress. I had to literally memorize the exact directional path of where I wanted the chase to finish, while also avoiding meteors. On first glance, the Rockstar editor gives you this crazy, no-holds-barred feeling when you first test out the camera tools. Basically, it allows you to take a clip that you recorded in-game and relive the scene with any camera, technique, or lens that you want. With that kind of power, I had to consciously restrain myself from making the camera do anything too wild, especially in the opening scenes. I would always ask myself, how would I shoot this in real life with a low budget? I would imagine using long lenses to hide the production crew standing off to the side, or to do moves that reveal a little bit more of the atmosphere. Since my world is post-apocalyptic, there's no electricity, so everything would be filmed in natural light. There's obviously a whole language of cinema that can take a lifetime to perfect, and not having a live human face to cut to is severely limiting, but it's still a fun way to exercise your camera skills for free. Now that you've got all your raw takes, you need to bring it into the video editor like Adobe Premiere. Since I'm working with 4K, my file sizes and assets are going to take up a good amount of space. For Finding Tommy, I applied a Filmic Pro look to give it a little grain and imported the 60p files into a 24p timeline for a more cinematic look. I also applied something called Real Smart Motion Blur to the action scenes to provide some natural shutter speed for the high-speed chase. For some reason, the in-game recordings never sound as good as when you're playing it live, so be sure to augment your scenes with as much custom sound effects as possible. Remember, don't get lazy here. Sound is 50% of the illusion, and weak sound can cause your viewers to dismiss your machinima as too video gamey.
It's because the biggest lies we say for ourselves. That game in which we are gods, and the choices we make are the current that follows in our wake.
Tommy! Where you at? I got your favorite tree, boy! Tommy!
It took quite some time for me to get the hang of making a short film with GTA V, but it was really worth it. The last time I made a movie completely in the computer was probably in 1993 using Disney's Stunt Island, a flight and filmmaking simulator. It was really quite ahead of its time, and I have a lot of fond memories playing with it. GTA V's Rockstar editor is like that times a million on steroids. So there you have it. Hope you guys enjoy the film. If you have any questions about machinima, hit me up in the blog, runplayback.com.